Let's learn IIB. Today we will learn about transactionality in message flows. This is one of the most common interview questions for IIB developer. You can process messages in either local or global transaction by setting the node properties. If you want the updates that are made by the flow to be globally coordinated by an external transaction manager, you must configure the flow properties. To use global transactions, IIB must have access to WSPhere MQ. You can decide for each individual node whether it participates in the flow transaction or operates independently. Typically, these properties include an option of automatic so that subsequent nodes in the flow assume the characteristics set by the input node. Message flow nodes that support transport might have other properties such as what the integration node does when a message flow failure occurs. For example, file input node has a retry property that you can set to determine failure behavior. If you configure a node not to participate in the flow transaction, the actions that it takes are committed or rolled back when the node exits. No further action is taken when the flow itself completes. Typically, you can choose the value yes or no for transaction mode. Yes means the input node completes its own operation under sync point. No means that the input node completes its own operation out of sync point. Some nodes have an extra or alternative value. For example, you can set property of MQ input node to automatic, which means the node gets the message under sync point if the message is persisted, and out of sync point if the message is non-persistent. If your message flow includes nodes that interact with external resources, including output, request, and reply nodes, you can set a transaction property on most of these nodes. Set the property only if you want to change the behavior of individual node from the default behavior of the flow, which you set on input node. The value that you set on request, reply, output nodes has no effect on subsequent nodes in the message flow. If the node does not have a transaction property, its behavior is governed by the default behavior of the message flow, which you set in input node. On distributed systems, use the coordinated transaction property to configure for globally coordinated transactions. By default, this property is not selected, which means the flow is using local transactions and the integration node commits or rolls back the flow transaction. If you select this property, the transaction is globally coordinated. The input node calls the external transaction manager WSPhere MQ for commit and rollback processing. Let me know in comments if you have been asked about transactions in IIB interview. Do you know any other common IIB interview questions? Reply in comments.